But the last time I relapsed, though, was last month. If I mess up, well, I'll have to make a video about it so you guys can see that I failed. If I relapse on porn, I will tell you. That's the promise that I made in a video almost 1 year ago. And to be a man of integrity, I'm gonna have to stick to my word and tell you the truth. Yes, I relapsed. And yeah, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I watch porn, and I know that's not what you want to hear, but it is the truth, and you can click off the video now that you know the answer. I know that I'm gonna lose viewers saying that I'm a hypocrite for trying to give advice while relapsing myself, and maybe I am one, or maybe I'm just human. And at the end of the day, I'd rather be honest. I'd rather be upfront and just tell you the truth than lie and put on a mask, look upright in front of you all. It was December 22nd when I relapsed last year, and then I went on a long streak where I didn't watch porn at all. I documented this on my channel, right? But it was when I was coming back from camp. I was at a spiritual high, I was like feeling strong in my faith. We've been just talking about Jesus all the time. We've been worshiping God. And I come back home, I'm sick and just feeling depressed. I've talked about this darkness that comes at me once in a while. And once again, it consumed me. Started hating myself again. That's just like kind of what I deal with, just like hatred for myself. It comes in waves. And that's what happened. And started having a bunch of limiting beliefs, didn't want to care about anything, and eventually started falling away from God, didn't want to read my Bible, didn't want to pray. And that put me in a very vulnerable spot. And so after a while, I just relapsed. And that was like at the end of August, like August 27th or something. I relapsed multiple times in the past 2 months, sometimes with a few days in between, sometimes a week or so, but I just kept going back. And it just makes me feel like a piece of trash because I want to be someone that can lead by example. And yet here I am, returning to old sin like a dog returning to his vomit. I was in a kind of cyclical loop where because I was hating myself initially, I started to hate everything else. I started hating life, I started hating God. Just because of that hatred, that anger within me, it just flows into other parts of my life. Started not caring about God. Started falling away, right? Started asking questions and doubting and just being like, yeah, like God doesn't matter. This reading the Bible is not doing anything for me. What's the point if I, continue to keep grinding these spiritual disciplines out when nothing's happening? Wasn't seeing that progress. And then I was to be thinking about porn and be like, dang, like, what's the point of why not do it? Like, what's the problem if I do it? And eventually I would just watch porn. And then I'd hate myself even more because it's like, dang, like I'm going against my values. I'm going against my ideals that I set for myself, my commitment. And so I started hating myself more. And now the cycle continues, right? I think for all of us, porn is not the root of the problem. We all have these deeper underlying issues that are the cause of it. Things like the need for security, for comfort, for intimacy, for belonging. And for each of us, we need to identify that problem and attack that instead of the symptoms like porn. So here I am now. It is what it is. I messed up. And as of the filming of this video, it's been 1 week since I last relapsed. And, just prepping for the next temptation, to be honest. I think I just had to share this. I couldn't lie to you. I had to share it. I think the first sin is the actual relapse, falling into sexual sin. But the second sin is not letting anybody know, keeping it a secret. And man, I'm not going to let the devil take that other win. Although it sucks to relapse, I don't think my progress was all thrown away. I'm actually in a much healthier position than I was many years ago, where I'd watch porn just every single day, sometimes multiple times a day. Right now, I just want to remind myself that I'm just a human and that I'm going to make mistakes. I still have that fleshly nature in me. I didn't want to sin, but I did it anyway. It's like what Paul says in Romans 7:15. This reminds me that I can't rely on myself. I need Jesus. I might not be pure myself, but Jesus purifies me, and I need to go to him continually. Clothe yourselves with Jesus and do not think about how to gratify the desires of the flesh. I'm just grateful that Jesus, despite knowing all the sins that we've done and the sins that we will do, he still loved us so much, so far that he would die for us in the most humiliating, excruciatingly painful way. And man, I'm just really grateful for that. it's reassuring for myself, and I just want to like keep my eyes on him, keep practicing being like him. I might fall 100 more times in life, who knows. But what I do know is that I'm gonna have to continue to humble myself, continue to go to him every single day. It's gonna be a slow process of refinement, but there's nothing in this life that I want more than to know God deeply and to glorify him. That's it for this video. It's definitely not one that I'm happy about making per se, but hey, like, I know people are gonna watch this video, they're gonna judge me, but those are the consequences of my actions, and I deserve it. I deserve the consequences of my actions. I just know that I'm human and I'm not perfect, but hey, it reminds me that I need Jesus, and I'm not gonna stop being his bondservant. Devil might hit me down 100 times, 1,000 more times, but one thing about me is that I'm not gonna give up. I'm never gonna give up. I'm gonna keep getting back up. I've always said that I'm the worst Christian to ever live. I feel like a sludge of poo on the rim of your toilet seat. To try to lead others while like struggling myself, it's discouraging. But I want to remind you and myself that I'm not the one that you should be looking up to. If you do that, you're gonna be disappointed. Don't try to be like me. I'm in this journey just as much as you are, and we're on the same path to Jesus. I'm just trying to give my fellow brother mans and sister women a hand on the way. If you'd like to continue on this path together alongside me, then I'd humbly appreciate it from the bottom of my butt cheek. I'm going to continue seeking God. I'm going to continue trying to live out the life that Jesus has set out for me. And I'm going to share those life experiences, those lessons with you. But that's it for me today. Just remember, if anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. So please kill the flesh.